You have Temperance, the Fool, and the King of Swords. Someone is trying to balance out their heart over their mind. Something new that they're not used to. And they're highly going back and forth at this time in their own mind. They're fighting with themselves. This could be a male, could be a female too. The King of Swords is very intelligent, and he rests upon the top of the mountains. He's high up, ethereally and also mentally. There's an owl in the card which shows the wisdom that he holds. However, there's something tying him to dark and light energy at this time. He's going back and forth with starting anew. So let's find out what this Fool card is about. What is the Fool card? The Page of Cups. It could be regarding love. It could be regarding a new relationship. It could be regarding his heart. The Page of Cups is very flirty and flippant, but there's no real groundedness with this kid. And I'm going to call him a kid because he's not fully grown yet like the King of Swords is. The King of Swords is a little bit more mature. He might be older, but he's mentally mature. And the Page of Cups is more of a younger adult energy or a teenager energy. And he's looking at the Fool card and thinking that he'd like to take a chance, but a very lighthearted chance, right? He almost doesn't believe that starting this process would go anywhere. As the saying goes, when pigs fly, it means like, yeah, when a pig will fly is when I'll win the lottery, basically. He's going back and forth in his mind over what could happen that's good and what could happen that is bad. The Queen of Swords comes out. Interesting. We have the King and the Queen of Swords bookending this. These are two individuals here that are very intelligent. Okay, so maybe that's the reason why he is going back and forth at this time. He's met his match, at least intellectually. And the Queen of Swords doesn't mess around either. So these two people are very acutely aware of what could happen in life either way. They're good chess players in regards to life. They know moves before they can make them. They both are thinkers. They both are highly wise in their approach to how they go about life. But sometimes when you know all the answers, or you think you know all the answers, or you know all the outcomes that could happen, let's put it that way, you can think about all the outcomes before you make your chess move. But sometimes when there's too many choices, you don't know which one to make, or you get frozen in your choice making because you just don't commit to something that you feel. You're almost too much in your head about all the good things that can happen, all the bad things that can happen. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you juggle too many options or too many scenarios in your head where it makes you feel stuck. And that's why there's less of an investment here with starting this. So there's two people here involved. What else? What's the back and forth about the Temperance card? Clarify the Temperance. The Two of Pentacles. Again, it's basically the same feeling, juggling good and bad, up and down. Don't know which way to go. It's a lot of juggling. It's a lot of opposites. It's a lot of thinking about scenarios and then overthinking. The Two of Pentacles is the same way. It's going back and forth, juggling. It could also mean balance and yin and yang energy, but in this collection of cards, I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling that there are two people that are juggling options, or they're juggling their feelings, they're juggling the outcomes that could happen or what they think could happen. There's a lot of up and down and wish, like they're wishing that it could work with the Page of Cups, right? They could be like, wow, that would be good if this started good, but am I willing to be the fool in this? We also have the Page of Pentacles that popped out. The page could be a male or female as well. And this is also about finding the proper footing in life. She's in tree pose, and tree pose is a very grounded position. And she's holding her pentacle, and it's stable. She's stable. She's not wavering. A tree can sway back and forth in the wind, but their roots are highly deep, right? It takes a lot of upheaval, is that a word? To blow a tree down because of the root system underneath. So in a storm, you could see the wind blowing it around. You could see it swaying. You could see branches falling off. But the tree itself doesn't usually become uprooted unless there's a huge storm or a huge tornado. So both of these people want to remain grounded in their decision making at this time, and there's a lot of decisions happening between these two people. Six of Swords is leaving, uprooting oneself from the past, from bad mistakes. The Six of Swords is all about taking what you have left and moving on. And the Moon. The Moon is about your inner intuition, your wishes, your dreams, but holding it within. You're not sharing. They're not communicating this with one another. They're both stuck in a sense of decision making. They both want to remain grounded in this decision making because it's smarter that way. Obviously, it's the King and the Queen of Swords. So they are intelligent in how they make decisions. But with the Moon card here, they are turning inward to find the answers with their intuition. The Moon is all about intuition, but it's intuition. It's inward. It's not outward like the sun. It's inward, and it's secretive, and it's below the surface. She's below the water, right? The Moon is lighting her path, and she's attuned to the Moon and the light that their innerness is being gravitating to. But there's no outward movement at this time. There's a lot of juggling of thoughts. The Queen of Cups. So we have the Page of Cups and the Queen of Cups coming out. This is definitely regarding either the love that these two people share between each other or the love that they both want to have. The Queen of Cups is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or it could just mean love and emotions, right? So they're both holding their cards close to their chest when it comes to their emotions and how they actually feel, because they're not fully sure at this time. There's two people here that are looking at one another from a distance, and they're not fully sure of what to decide. Yeah. Like sometimes they think about it with the Page of Cups, and sometimes they do not think that it would work. But the Six of Pentacles is here as well. So they do want something stable. This is why these two people are kind of staring at each other from afar. 10:01 on the clock. They match each other, and they're equally engaged with thinking about this scenario between the two. but there's some sort of indecision that's happening between the two of them. They both want stability. They both want to be grounded in their decision making. But there's a lot of secretiveness. There's a lot of not speaking it out loud at this time. Okay, let's see then. What are they not speaking out loud? Heartbreak is the part of a human experience. So this is what the Six of Swords could be. They've both gone through heartbreak, or they're both afraid of heartbreak, or they're just trying to make sure that they don't get into this scenario again. They both might have broken hearts at this time, which could also mean the stagnation of decision making. They're not fully ready to go forward, and they don't want to stay in the past either. 11:11 on the clock. So this could be a very divine match energy. They both might actually be showing one another the same exact thing, like a mirror effect. Some call it a twin flame connection, where two people that could be completely different from one another, they both have similar experiences in their life, which is a twin flame. And their souls kind of match each other's resonance. So these two people might both be coming from heartbreak and kind of picking up the pieces. So they're not fully ready to make a decision yet. We have sparks though. There is a spark between these two people. There is a connection of some sort. There's a twin flame connection, but at the same time, there's a lot of indecisions. There might be jealousy in the third party. They both popped out together. So this is why these two people might be holding back from one another, is because either they came from some sort of third party scenario in their past relationship where there was a third that broke up the relationship, or they're afraid of that happening. And there might be some jealousy involved here, where it might not even be real jealousy. Sometimes if we were in a past relationship and we were cheated on, right? It's not just the physical cheating, it's the betrayal, it's the mistrust, it's the lying, it's all of these other scenarios that now don't mean anything anymore. So if you were with someone for a long time and you trusted them and you gave your heart to them and you were devoted to them, and all of a sudden either you find out that they were cheating or they tell you that they were cheating, it doesn't matter, because the betrayal is worse than any other feeling. Now you ruminate over all the things that you thought were true that were not, or all the scenarios where you confronted this person and they lied to your face, or everything that you thought was real was not. And that sort of feeling, that emptiness, that betrayal, that sneakiness. How many times did they sneak around behind your back? How many times did they lie to you about where they were going? How many times did you feel that this other person was actually, this third party was actually around, and you confronted them and they still lied to you? All these little micro expressions of betrayal, they come at you like a ton of bricks, and they hit you over the face when you find out that someone has cheated on you. So of course, the physical and the emotional cheating hurts as well, especially if you were devoted to someone else. But sometimes people can get over that for certain reasons. Usually someone cheats because they're not getting something, or they're not fulfilled in some sort of way, either emotionally or physically. But all the other things that go around it hurt even more. And then how could you be with someone? How could you trust someone again? So I think this sort of betrayal is still lingering either with one person or two of these people here. As much as they want a new chance here, as much as they want to kind of keep the spark, there is a spark here between these two people, but there's a lot of there's jealousy. And what is the difference between jealousy and envy? It's similar, but it's a little bit different. Envy is looking at someone that you admire, or something that someone else has that you admire, and being like, wow, I wish I had that person's life, or I wish I had that person's car, I wish I had that person's hair, or blah, 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 right? Jealousy involves three parties, three entities of some sort. It could usually mean two people in a relationship, and then a third person is involved, right? Jealousy involves getting something taken away from you by a third party. So in this sort of scenario, if you're with someone else and a third party comes along, that third party takes away your partner. That's jealousy, because you know that something could be taken away from you. Or people compete with one another, thinking that if you're trying to be a star on a stage and someone else comes along that shines just as bright as you might feel jealous because that person might take away your light, or they might take away your fame, or whatever, right? So this jealousy is definitely stemming from a third party, which might still be lingering into the present moment. So one of these people or two of these people might almost feel like everyone is a liar, or everyone is untrustworthy, or everyone's going to cheat on you. And they're bringing the past into the future. So you have to be wary of that, even though you might have learned some things from the past on, seeing with open eyes a little bit more when it comes to being with somebody. You might have noticed that there were little hints. You might have felt it subconsciously or in your gut that someone was cheating, even though you had no evidence. You just knew it. You could feel it. There was a slight change of energy. These people were acting more elusive with you. There's small lies here and there. They say they're going somewhere. They're out a little bit longer than they usually are. Something in their routine changes. Something in their mood is different. Sometimes when people cheat, if they're more in the dark triad of personalities, they actually become happier around you, right? There's been instances where a man or a female will cheat on their partner, and then they're so happy because they're filled up. They bring it home to their partner that they're cheating on, and they're happy. They give to their partner that they're cheating on more, because now they feel like they're getting away with it. So there's all this betrayal here and heartbreak and coming out of something like that. And that's, I think, what is happening in this scenario here. Are you willing to start again with fresh eyes, or a fresh slate with someone new? That is the question, I think, in this reading. You have to raise your own vibration when it comes to betrayal. There might be music here. Music is highly important to heal. Music resonates within our bodies on a cellular level. It's not just a surface level effect that music has. Music can literally change the dynamics in our own bodies. And in order to stay grounded in yourself and your decision making, because there's a lot of decision making between these two people, there's a lot of going back and forth and rehearsing, I want to say, for some reason. There's something here that where you have to go back to the balance and raising your own vibration, because once you do that, once you heal yourself individually, going forward, even though you've learned lessons of betrayal or mistrust or cheating, you can't expect a new person to be the same way. And that happens by doing the work yourself on yourself. It happens by knowing what you know now, not overseeing red flags if they come about, but don't see them before they occur, if that makes sense. Anything else? Signs, spiritual contracts, songs, and telepathic So again, with the songs and the signs, there might be some sort of telepathic connection between these two people, the Queen and the King of Swords. There might be a spiritual contract between you two, again with the 1111 and the twin flame. As much as you both hurt and you both have a lot of heartbreak at this time, there's some sort of connection between you two. There's a spiritual contract that is meant to happen. The twin flame effect here is real. I think between the two of you, you might both have been coming out of a betrayal in your past. And music and songs are definitely something that you share between you two at this time, no matter how much indecision that you both have at this time, and juggling your thoughts and keeping your emotions inward. You're willing to grow from it in due time, but it comes back to regrounding yourself first, so you don't get hung up on your past and expecting your past to become your future again. There are a lot of music signs and songs that you might share where you listen to a song. This person might be listening to the same song at the same time, or you both think of each other with certain songs. There's some sort of telepathic connection, and that also means dreaming of one another. So even though there's some sort of imbalance and a lot of indecision at this time between two people, I think that there is a connection here that is a spiritual connection, and there's a contract from your past life or your present life where you need to be with this person for some reason. You two will heal each other in due time. I think this is about taking the time to heal yourself before you jump into a new relationship, because there's too much indecision happening. You have to heal your broken heart. And even if it's not completely healed 100%, you both will heal each other's hearts through trust, through time, through actual love, and through commitment, and knowing that you don't need to feel jealous over your person. Because if you start to feel jealous, we all do feel jealous, right? Especially if you care about someone, you want to keep them, right? You want to keep them safe. You want to keep them to yourselves, and any sort of outside influence you feel threatened by. But that's normal. But when you go overboard and feel jealous and you start acting a fool and you start acting suspicious for no reason, you just have to take a step back and take a deep breath and be like, is this person suspicious, or am I just reacting from past triggers? Because that's what's really going to show you the door of who you can commit to and who you can trust. If this person has never showed you any signs of mistrust or a third party or cheating or any sort of thing where you feel like you shouldn't trust them, and you're just working off of past triggers, you have to regroup yourself and know that you can trust people. There are people that don't want to hurt your feelings. There are people that don't want to hurt your heart. And feeling jealous a little bit is normal, but having jealousy consume you and you becoming suspicious about everyone around this person is unhealthy for you, for the other person, and for the relationship or the potential of one. It's okay to protect your other person. It's okay to feel like you will stand by your man or stand by your woman if someone else approaches, but the amount that you take it through is basically how healthy you feel, how secure you feel. You can't stop someone from cheating. You can't stop someone from wanting to cheat. You just still have to remain solid in your approach to life and know that if this person cheats, then let them go, because you don't deserve all the feelings that happen around jealousy and third parties. So there is a spiritual contract between these two people. I think it's going to take some time for them to unravel themselves and fully become open to trusting again. But there is a spiritual contract, and there's music involved. There's a lot of telepathy involved. And these two people do know it, but I think they're both triggered still.